Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, from Eric Lima's Shenanigans of 1977, it's time to head back in our mental DeLoreans where we talk about things of pop culture back in the 80s and 90s with nostalgic shenanigans. And our host of this great segment is the youngster in the picture from the first grade in the 80s, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima's Shenanigans of 1977, episode 2165 of the show. How's it going, everybody? Hope you guys are having a very blessed day on 3:01 p.m., April the 10th, 2025. Still on vacation till the 13th, and after the 13th, I'll be going back to work April the 14th. And that'll be my final vacation. I know with the Whalen City Festival coming up in July and the Portuguese Feast coming up in August, I'm going to have an easier weekend because as long as I'm working Monday through Friday, that could be a bonus when because I usually go the Whalen City Festival over the weekends and stuff and enjoy myself and have a good time. But that's in July. We're not talking about a couple of months from now. There's a lot of stuff going on before the summer. In May, I got a couple of games coming out for the Nintendo Switch. The first one, obviously. Rita's Rewind, the physical copy coming out. I pre-ordered that on Amazon. And Capcom Fighting Collection 2, that's coming out as well. So, but however, this is the first ever episode of my new segment here on Eric Lima's Shenanigans in 1977, Nostalgic Shenanigans, when I talk about things of pop culture in the 80s and 90s that I grew up with. And you notice the little child that was in the intro. Well, that child was me. This is me, 1983. That's right, 1983 at age 6. And this is a first grade school picture from first grade school picture from a school here in New Bedford called Gomes School. This was taken to me. In fact, my biological mother was about to give this to my godfather. God rest his soul. He passed away. My godfather was an owner of a used car lot here in New Bedford. And this was the picture that was supposed to be given to him, but didn't. So I have it now. So this was me. That was me in that little picture in the intro there. I took a picture of it, and I took a picture of this and decided, well, I'll make a PNG render out of it, and boom, there you go. So that was me. So those of you crazy, I know there's crazy people out there getting weird ideas about me. Nope, that was me. That was me. Age 6, 1983. Yeah, you could probably look at the hair and go, dude, you needed a haircut back then. I could have had a haircut, but I was afraid of getting my hair pulled and all that. That could be the reason why I think I was afraid of getting a haircut, because my hair gets pulled sometimes and all that. But you probably say you look nothing like the kid in the picture now. Obviously, of course, back then he didn't have any glasses. The younger version of me, the older version of me does, and you see is two missing teeth in the front too. So as well. So. Check this out. I want to talk about Coca-Cola. Let me say, why do you want to talk about Coke now? It's still a drink now. Well, back 40 years ago, in 1985, Coca-Cola decided to try something new. Try something different with a different taste in Coca-Cola. Not Diet Coke, but it was the new Coke. Everyone's thinking, why do we want to call it the new Coke? And I have no idea, but I think they're trying to compete with Pepsi a little bit more. And so I think Coke was trying to ramp it up a little bit. And he said, the folks at Coca-Cola ramped it up a little bit and said, we'll have the new Coke. So there was the new Coke. And I did try the new Coke back in the day. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good tasting Coke. And, everybody talks about which tastes better, Coke or Pepsi, This was a big thing back in the 80s. And I tried Pepsi. I did taste Pepsi before, and I thought Pepsi was a little bit more tangier than the Coke. I thought Coke tasted just right. I thought it was a perfect, it was a perfect calm balance of, you know, the perfect balance of taste, you know. And I thought Pepsi was just a little too sweet for my liking, a little too sweet, you know. But I thought Coke was just right. Coke was just perfect. You know, not too sweet, not too sour. It was just perfect. It was just perfect. And my personal opinion, yeah. And New Coke, they were trying to compete with Pepsi on that. And the New Coke, I thought tasted even better, you know, back then. But you know, it did. It was going well for a while, but they decided to rename it Coke 2 in 1990, and I thought it tasted good there too, and I liked it. You know, it was a big thing back in the 80s and 90s. You know, and you know, I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to explain this, folks. I thought the taste of the Coke 2, aka New Coke, was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good, and I liked Coke ever since. You know, it was not like, you know, I'm not saying Pepsi sucks or anything. You know, it was. I know Pepsi tried to counter with Crystal Pepsi. It's like a bona fide 7-Up. You know, if I had the top 5 soft drinks of all time or sodas of all time, Coke and 7-Up will be my top 2 favorites of all time. You know. Sunkist used to be one of my favorites in the 80s, but nowadays, I think I had a bottle of Sunkist, or I tried some Sunkist. It tasted like cardboard. I mean, I'm like, yeah, that's good, you know. Nah, so I decided, well, I'll go for Fanta or more Crush, you know. More on Crush, you know what I mean? More towards Fanta and Crush, and so. And I have 2 boxes of Crush I've yet to put in the fridge, and all that. So I thought that was, so yeah, the New Coke and Coke, and I remember, you know, the New Coke used to become the 16-ounce bottles, the old school bottles, not the hourglass bottles you see nowadays, but one of those, you know, it had, you know, the small top, and it had, you know, it's like a little pudge. Look it up. Go 16-ounce Coke vintage. Look that up, because it's, you know, I used to, you know, taste one of those things, and I thought they were super good. You know, I thought it was so good, those bottles. It's like, oh, cool. It's like, oh, it's a bigger bottle. I can drink more soda. I get real thirsty sometimes, and it was good stuff. So yeah. And now Coke decided, well, we come out with Coca-Cola Classic. Well, Coke Classic. What? They had different kinds. You got the regular Coca-Cola, you got the new Coca-Cola, New Coke / Coke 2, and then you got Coca-Cola Classic. Which one do you want to use? So, well, at least they finally gone Coca-Cola Original Taste, you know, and that's fine. Coke Original Taste. I gotta say though, yeah, it was a wild thing. Yeah, and I remember the vending machines they had with the Coke logo on it. And like back in the day, it was like 25, 50, 75 cents just to, you know, plunk in and then press a button and boom, it comes out with a can. You know, yeah, back in the day. So back in the day, when I once ordered, when I once had pizza from a place called Lucalo's in Dartmouth. It was back in the 80s, of course. Lucalo's is no longer there. They had great pizza. And so there was the Coke machine right there. It was like, well, you can order a pizza and then, you know, put in a few quarters and let's get some soda with it. Back in the day. Nowadays, if you want to order a pizza, you know, oh, can I have a soda? I'll just grab it from the big fridge that they have there. Especially when you go to somewhere like Domino's. Excuse me, yeah, Domino's. You order a pizza and you turn around. There's a big fridge of Coke, and here's a Coke. I'll take that to go as well. I'll pay you extra for that and fly off. You know what I mean? So yeah. So, but the new Coke 2 thing was pretty cool. And it only came out 40 years ago already. This year makes 40 years that Coke came out, and I gotta tell you, it's so surreal. You know. But back then I was limited because they're trying to get me healthy and all that, limited. But I'm an adult now, and I can, and I got my own money, so it's like, I don't like it. But however, I always been kept alert, and you know, it's like the cool thing is though, I rarely get sick. I rarely get sick. I think they said Coke, soda can settle the stomach, and with the exception of the beginning of this year, obviously, I do. There was a rare occasion I would end up getting sick, and like I said, this New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, I think this year already. I think it's been a long time since I had a rotten New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. The last time I had that prior to this year was when back in 2002, 2003, New Year's 2002 to 2003, I was suspended from work, and I was I was working at Ruby Tuesday at the time. So, anyways, I'll talk a little bit more. I'll talk a little bit more about other places stuff, and well, Coca-Cola, new Coke 2. It was. I think all the other stories were intertwining with the new Coke 2 type thing. And why they call it Coke 2, I don't know. Like I said, Coca-Cola. But now they just settle for Coca-Cola Original Taste. So if any of you folks out there as old as I am, if you remember the new Coke 2, let me know in the comments and tell me what you guys think about that. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was good. Good is that Coke was trying too much at that time to compete with Pepsi, But they said, the original taste does work. Why don't we call it that? They said, okay, we got new Coke 2, and we got Coca-Cola Classic, and then they'll bring back. And now, all that's been put at the wayside for Coca-Cola Original Taste. That's good. So, that is all the time for this first episode of Nostalgic Shenanigans from Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977, episode 2165 of the show. Friendly reminder, tonight, Rant and Rave, I believe episode 287. We're 13 episodes away from the 300th episode, and I'm kind of looking forward to see what we can do for our 300th episode. And I like to celebrate it like nice and calm and not have anything to do with us doing anything stupid, This is not Jackass or Wild Boys or Viva La Bam. It's Rant and Rave. We like to talk. Rant and Rave, that's basically talk. That's it. So we'll have that, and also I'll get TNA tonight. Tomorrow we got Bullseye, SmackDown. We're gonna have fun there. So, and if I find anything on my Nostalgic Shenanigans, I have an idea what I want to talk about next. I just spotted something before we went on the air. Before I went on the air to do this and first episode, so I'm really excited about it. So. Tell me guys what you think about the new Coke 2 thing, if you guys remember it, and remember the vending machines and the 16-ounce Coke bottles I'm trying to explain. And a friendly reminder, though, that picture of that child on the intro was me back in 1983 at age 6. So I probably had turned 6 that year. Just turned 6 not long ago. We had school pictures, going to school. So just to let you know, I showed the picture to give you proof that was me back in the day. So, what do you guys think of my new segment? I should go on to another segment pretty soon, huh? I should go to another episode of this segment. If you want to see more of this episode, follow me. Hey, I'll have some fun here. So, I will see you guys later. You guys, I'll see you tonight for Rant and Rave. And I will see you on the next episode. Until that next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.